Welcome back to the Motor Super Series, everyone, and we've got the asset, Paul Nicholson. Paul, finally here in the new venue. It's so impressive, isn't it?
It's like a proper production, and I say that loosely because what we had in our previous venue was a massive step in the right direction. But when you go from what we had at the very start with all of the makeshift kit, the makeshift software, and then you go on to what we had in Southampton, that was a big jump. And I remember you did an interview with Chris Mason at the time, and we were talking about how state of the art it was, and it was at the time, but things have to evolve coming here. It's a look to the future, and I'm really excited about what we could possibly achieve here.
We'll take you all the way back to that first phone call that you had about doing some testing when we just got into lockdown. You ever envisaged that we'd be where we are now?
No, not at all. I remember that phone call from George, and I thought to myself, this is something that could possibly keep us playing darts or talking about it, or even making a little bit of money through a pandemic for 2 or 3 months. We didn't know at the time what we were going to be facing, but the testing process was rigid. It was texts, emails, phone calls saying, can you do another test match for us, just to test the cameras, test the sound, test the positioning of everything. I'm not going to lie, at the time it was just, you'd be having your dinner and you think, can you do another test match in 15 minutes? So you'd wolf down your dinner and think, okay, another match. I was playing a lot. And you weren't playing for anything, you were playing for the potential of a product that you didn't know would get off the ground. So I put my trust in George, as a lot of people did, put our trust in all of the guys who got involved in the production, and eventually we put something together. And I remember that first day. Myself and Mark Webster were playing, and we just thought, we don't know how many people are watching, we don't know if this is any good, but from that point on to what we've got now, it's quite meteoric.
The evolution as well, even from when we were at home, we went one camera, just boards, to a camera split, which at the time for our home darts was revolutionary, splitting between 2 people in 2 different locations. Yeah. So we've always tried to evolve from when it was the online league now to the Super Series. We've always tried to set that bar and just keep nudging it a little bit higher each time.
Very much so. If you're standing still, you're going backwards in this kind of industry, definitely in production and in sport. You've got to be looking forward to the next step. I am intrigued to see what they want to do next after this. I mean, this is a huge step, but ultimately the cluster of players that we've had over the course of time, it was strong at the start. I think about Dave Evans, who's on tour now, Richie Edhouse, who's on tour now. We've had Mark Webster, Martin Adams, former world champions, and many, many more. But the strength of the overall fields week-wide is starting to get stronger and stronger, and more people want to play in this now than ever. And I have to say this because it's true. There was a time where people said, what are you playing on that for? Now people are knocking on the door. Oh, how things change.
I was going to say, there'll be a few regretting some social media posts, shall we say, back in the day, but all water under the bridge. But
is it?
We'd obviously kept things secret here and we'd known what was going on, but when that announcement dropped of how much prize money the players are now playing for, that was a huge statement for the amateur game.
It is, because I think we've gotten used to the fact that the PDC is the elite. It still remains that way. That isn't going to change, in my opinion. A great company is promoting that product. In relation to the amateur game, there's been almost seeds on the ground between a lot of different organisations just trying to pick up all the other bits of the game that the PDC are either not utilising, or the stuff that other people want to just massage. And as an amateur dart player now, someone who has a job and doesn't want to go full time, or wants a springboard to possibly the PDC tour, this is what it is. And we've seen it happen in the first 2 seasons of the at-home stuff from the Live League. This will be the same, and people love this project. They love that they can get money from it, they can get form from it, confidence, as well as have a great deal of fun.
That first Champions Week here is going to be interesting. It's going to be turbocharged with everything on the line.
There's going to be a lot of people in that room who think they can win it, and whoever does win it will carve a little bit of history out for themselves, but that money will probably be reinvested into a career which will only be just beginning.
You excited as well to set foot on that stage when it happens?
I've been up there testing the hockey when we were getting this place ready. I loved it, but I'm not putting any pressure on myself. I just want to see how I feel when I'm in those game situations, and then what I do after that is how I'm going to gauge my career post that. It's going to be an important few days for me. I am going to be nervous because I haven't played competitively for a while since my operations, but it's time to feel uncomfortable again.
Is the equipment ready?
The equipment's ready, this is ready, just got to get this ready.
Paul, absolute pleasure. Thanks as always to the asset.
You're welcome.